Service sales versus product sales. Why your approach is probably wrong. Here's something that blew my mind last quarter. I watched a brilliant CEO of a 50-person consulting firm lose a $2 million deal because his sales team pitched their methodology like it was a software package. If you've run a service company and your sales approach feels like you're trying to stuff a square peg into a round hole, stick around, because you're probably using product sales tactics to sell something completely different. Most service company leaders I work with have convinced themselves that sales is sales. They tell me, we just need someone who can close. Wrong. Here's what you're actually selling when you run a service company. Trust in future performance. Your prospects aren't buying your service. They're buying their belief that you'll deliver something that doesn't exist yet. The second thing they're buying, relationship insurance. Every service sale includes an unspoken warranty. If this goes sideways, we'll figure it out together. Third, customization and anxiety. No two service agreements are identical, which means no two sales conversations should be either. Yet I see service companies trying to standardize their pitch like they're selling enterprise software. Now, when I started my first business with zero capital, because venture capitalists weren't exactly lining up to fund a guy with more ambition and assets, I envied product companies. Their sales process seemed so clean. Show the widget, prove it works, sign the contract, ship the box. Service sales? It's like trying to sell someone a dream while they're wide awake and holding a calculator. But here's what I learned working with dozens of mid-size service companies across a range of industries. There are three fatal mistakes that we see all the time. They kill your service sales and are probably killing it right now. Mistake number one, feature dumping. Your sales team rattles off your methodology, your proprietary process, and your proven framework like they're reading a spec sheet. The reality, your prospects don't care about your 7-step process. They care about whether you can solve their specific problem without making their life more complicated. Mistake number two, competing on price. Service companies get trapped in pricing discussions because they treat their offer like a commodity, where the client might say, well, so-and-so quoted 50 grand less. Now, here's the reality. Price competition is a product company game. Service companies should compete on outcome confidence. Mistake number three, selling the work instead of the results. I cringe every time I hear a service company pitch that focuses on what they'll do instead of why it matters. Nobody wakes up excited about workshops, assessments, or implementation phases. They wake up excited about the business transformation on the other side. There's a solution. 3 critical shifts. Let's run through what those 3 critical shifts are, because they can transform your revenue trajectory. Shift number 1 is from features to fears. Stop leading with what you do. Start with what keeps your prospect awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. For example, product sales. Our CRM has advanced reporting capabilities, whereas service sales, you're worried that deals are slipping through the cracks and you have no visibility into why. Shift number 2, from process to proof. Your methodology matters less than your track record with similar challenges. So product sales, here's our implementation timeline. Service sales say, here's how we solved this exact problem for 3 other companies in your industry. Shift number 3, from vendor to partner. Position yourself as someone who shares the risk, not just someone who shows up to do the work. The product sales example, we deliver the software and provide support. Service sales, we're not successful unless you achieve the specific business outcome. So let me give you a real example. Last year, I worked with a fractional CFO firm stuck in pricing wars. Their sales conversations sounded like accounting service comparisons. Here's how we flipped it. Instead of we provide monthly financial reporting and analysis, we positioned it to we help growing service companies avoid the cash flow surprises that kill 40% of businesses in their growth phase. Instead of we're 20% less expensive than big firms, we positioned it as with the insurance policy between your current growth and a financial crisis you don't see coming. Revenue increased 60% in 6 months. Same services, just completely different conversation. These are advantages that you have. Because here's what product companies can't offer: genuine partnership in uncertain outcomes. When a service company gets this right, they become irreplaceable, not because their process is proprietary, but because their relationship is personal and their track record is proven. That's why, even starting my business with no capital, I chose the service route. Products can be replicated. I didn't have any of those. Trusted relationships cannot. And I had all of that. As you do in a service company. If you're leading a mid-sized service company and this resonates, you probably recognize your sales team making these mistakes. Now, the good news, this is fixable, usually faster than you think. The bad news, it requires more than a new sales script. It requires a fundamental shift in how your entire organization thinks about value creation. I work with exactly 3 service companies at a time, helping them transform their sales approach from product-style pitching to service-focused partnership positioning. If you're tired of watching prospects choose competitors based on price, or if your sales teams feel like they're pushing uphill in every deal, let's talk. I've put a link to schedule a one-to-one strategy call in the description. Fair warning, I turn down 80% of potential clients, not because they're not good companies, but because I only work with leaders ready to completely rethink their sales approach. Are you one of them? If this has helped you see your sales challenges differently, hit subscribe and check out my video on why hiring a full-time sales VP is actually sabotaging your growth. It ties directly into what we covered today.